A village in northern Uganda where this baby and his mother are benefiting from the work of a PLA group. Evidence shows that in areas where at least a third of pregnant women attend the groups, newborn deaths are cut by a third and maternal mortality by almost half. This film will show you how to organise and run a PLA group to help improve the health of local mothers and babies. PLA groups provide a space for discussion where people concerned about mother and child health can identify problems and implement local solutions under the guidance of a local facilitator. These solutions can range from promoting changes in behaviour to lobbying for improvements in health services and changes in policy. Drums signal the start of a meeting. The first people to contact will be those concerned about maternal and newborn health, such as pregnant women and mothers, and also those involved in making decisions about their care. So, for example, as fathers, men should be encouraged to join. Local leaders and other stakeholders should also be invited to take part, as they can generate support for the group and its activities. Each facilitator is provided with a resource pack, which includes a manual outlining the monthly meetings, discussion tools and picture cards. Incentives are not provided to members, ensuring that PLA groups are low-cost, sustainable and easy to replicate. Any proposed solutions must be resourced locally by the groups. Once you've established a group, you're ready to start. Meetings proceed in a cycle of 4 phases. Each phase progresses through a series of several monthly meetings. Meeting 1 is all about getting to know each other and establishing the group. First, outline the principles and methods of the PLA group. You can do this through simple exercises such as the river chord method, a role play outlined in your pack, which helps participants to understand the principles of the approach. Moving on, you may wish to elect a committee to manage the group. These usually have a chairperson, secretary and treasurer. The chairperson leads the group, providing direction and representing the group at local forums. The secretary records all activities, including taking registers and preparing a report after every meeting. The treasurer looks after group funds and resources. The committee is also there to encourage people to join, share learning beyond the group, and provide support to the facilitator. A strong committee should include both men and women, but ideally with a higher proportion of female members. Next, it's important to agree ground rules. Once you've covered the basics and are working as a team, it's time to start looking at the issues. First, the group should identify the most common health problems in their community that lead to the death of women during pregnancy, delivery and after birth. Malaria is one of the problems this group identified, with facilitators using picture cards to prompt discussions. It might help to get the group to plot the course of a pregnancy on a timeline to help to spot key dangers at different stages. Sharing stories and experience is vital. As well as malaria, this group has highlighted bleeding and prolonged labour as 2 other maternal health issues they see regularly. In the third meeting, the focus moves from maternal to newborn health and another lively discussion where the community can share their experiences. Malnutrition, diarrhoea and umbilical cord infections were identified as particular problems in this locality. The group now needs to prioritise issues they think are the most important. They will be much more effective if they focus on a few problems at a time. In the fourth meeting, engage in an in-depth discussion about which of the issues are the most important. They can use voting to select these priorities in a democratic fashion. This group has ranked malaria as one of its top 3 priorities. You should not choose more than 3, and they should include a mixture of maternal and newborn problems. Once the 3 priorities are set, the final meeting of Phase 1 is all about identifying the factors that contribute to these problems. Use activities to map out cause and effect, such as drawing problem trees and stories, which help to explore the roots of the problems. Don't stop at the surface, keep the group digging down further until the fundamental contributing factors to the problems have been identified. This group has picked out stagnant water, overgrown vegetation, poor state of bed nets and standing water in pots as key factors. Now that you have your priorities and an idea of their causes, you're ready to move on to the next phase. Phase 2 is all about problem solving. First, this involved brainstorming practical activities to prevent and manage these problems. Once again, picture cards can help the discussion and stimulate ideas. Once you have a list of actions, it's time to plan the solutions that can help to promote people to engage in those activities. Solutions must be achievable in rural areas, so should require only resources that are available locally. After meeting 7, prepare to present plans to the whole community. Groups often choose to use methods such as songs, dances, poems and role plays to emphasize their points. In meeting 8, share your progress and what you have learned. Here villagers are shown about the danger of torn bed nets and how to sew them up. Invite the community to celebrate the group's achievements and to take part in solving the priority problems. Following the presentation, ask for feedback and commitments of support. It's time now for Phase 3, putting your solutions into practice. It all starts with a detailed step-by-step action plan for each solution, as developed by the group. Group subcommittees can be set up to take responsibility for the implementation of each solution. Any solution will need some resources to facilitate its implementation. However, it's up to the group to mobilise them. Support the group to make a detailed plan of what's needed and how to get it from within and outside the community. Good sources often include community members and leaders, organisations, government departments and NGOs. You might be able to help the group by putting them in contact with some of these sources. This group has identified dense vegetation near houses as a risk factor for malaria. They've asked to borrow equipment from a local resident to clear it. There's one last step before getting to work. If we do not monitor the solutions, we will not be able to react to solve problems or celebrate achievements. The group should maintain simple registers to record progress of the solutions to help identify successes and challenges wherever they arise. Following meeting 11, it's time to put all this planning into action. This group should implement their solutions in the community for 3 to 6 months. Throughout this time, they should keep in regular contact and continuously monitor their progress. It's been a lot of work, and now it's time to find out how effective your PLA group has been and what it should do next. Lead a discussion on the importance of evaluation and identify sources of information to help in your assessment. Common sources include the monitoring register you set up in meeting 11, as well as the feedback from community members and other stakeholders. Lead the group to evaluate their progress against the 3 priority problems they identified in meeting 4. The group should also explore what went right and what might have gone wrong to help explain their progress. The men of this community were encouraged by the group to attend antenatal classes with their partners as a means of helping to prevent hemorrhage, and it's made a huge impact. They get a round of applause for their efforts. You've now been through all 4 phases of the PLA cycle, and hopefully the health of mothers and newborns in the community has improved. It may be that you've solved every problem, and if so, this can be your final meeting, but there is likely to be some more work to do. So the group can decide to go through the cycle again, focusing on new problems or new solutions. From here, there's no end to the positive work that can be done in the community, recruiting more members, spreading the word even further, and ultimately saving more lives.